Good morning. I am a BizTalk Server Trainer. I'm going to explain you the BizTalk training, how we will cover in the BizTalk. So let's start one by one. So in the demo, I will tell you why the BizTalk exists in our industry, what is the purpose of BizTalk Server, how we can integrate other technologies, and how much we can take maximum advantage from the BizTalk Server, and what is the future of the BizTalk Server. So I will tell everything about trainer, like about me. I have been working in around 16 years, and presently I am a BizTalk architecture in one of the IT company. I have played as a role of architecture, designer, developer. So I develop a number of applications, and I have worked project like enterprise application integration, B2B, supply chain management. So this is all about me. So now next is today agenda. Today I'm going to tell you introduction about the BizTalk server, second creating schema, third creating map. So all this topic will help you to start the BizTalk server, to start building the application on the BizTalk server. So you have to understand first why the BizTalk server exists and how we can use it. Creating schema means you have to specify some XML files which have nothing but a data type, so data structure of the messages. So that time you can use the creating schema, and we have to have use map because we have to transform some messages into different formats, like CSV formats, like XML formats, like JSON formats. So that time we will use the map. So this is the just introduction about the how we can use the BizTalk server. Course curriculums. In the course we have around 50 16 topics, and each topic will help you to gradually getting the knowledge on BizTalk server, introduction to BizTalk server. This is the first. Second, we have a creating schema. Third, creating map. And each topic you will see are interconnected. So this is why each topic are in a sequence. So in fourth, we have a routing BizTalk message, creating the pipelines, integrating business rule, BizTalk orchestration, adapter. Adapter is used for make a connection between the distributed applications like CRM, AX. We have a configuration BizTalk application. Actually, all the BizTalk application are configured like we have endpoints. So we have to tell them, okay, the ports, receive location, send ports. So all cover in the configuration part. Tracking and troubleshooting BizTalk application. We have some console which is provided by the Microsoft BizTalk. So on the console we can track, we can track the how many messages we processed, if any message get failed, so we can check what was the error and what was causing issue, so we can resolve it. So there is a resume facilities also, so we can resume it, or we can make some automation through which we can whenever a message failed, if it is a resumable, sometime FTP get failed due to the network connection. So when the network come back, so it can retry and reprocess the things. So it will all cover in the tracking and troubleshooting BizTalk applications. In the next slide, we next topic we have creating high availability BizTalk environment. Means how we can make application that is a highly available. So there are some cluster kind of things that we can put more than one BizTalk server in a one environment. So that give a high availability of the messages or business logics. Next slide, we have a setting up BizTalk environment. In this topic, I will tell you how we can build a development environment and deployment and the testing all come in the BizTalk environment. So third topic, we have a BizTalk message securities. In the message security, how we can make our messages secure, like on a send port, receive port, orchestrations. We have a encryption, decryption. So all comes in the BizTalk message securities. In the 14th topic, we have deploying the BizTalk application. So in this topic, I will tell you how we can deploy a BizTalk application on a standalone environment, or we have a clustered environment. I will tell you how we can deploy the BizTalk application. Practice test and and the interview question. So in this topic, I will tell you like when you give the interview, what question can examiner ask you. I will tell you the maximum interview question. So I will cover everything. And practical test, in the practice test, so I have some practical, we do some practical like some code development, testing, deployment. So everything will give you a confidence how to clear the test or interview. So this all comes in the cost topics. So next we have a BizTalk server training introduction. So in that introduction, I will tell you like what is the BizTalk server and why it is exist and how we can use it. So in the introduction, BizTalk server, you know that it's a integration kind of things when we have a 3 to 4 application, and because each application want to talk to the other application, but due to some protocol format, they can't talk to the applications. So helping application to talk to each other, we build a BizTalk server. So BizTalk server will sit in the center, and they talk to the each application. Like we have a CRM, we have a AX, we have a Java. Then BizTalk will sit in the center, and he will talk to AX, he will talk to CRM, he will talk to Java. So we have a B2B application like EDI, healthcare. So we can use the BizTalk server because we have a set of formats like EDI, electronic data interchange, which give us the so we can process it, transform it, and transmit it to wherever we want to send it. Okay, so this is all BizTalk server. So how we can use it in a manner that like each application can talk to each other. So we have a number of artifacts provided by the BizTalk server. Like we have a schema, we have a map, we have a pipeline, we have orchestrations, sandports. So all this may make a application so that we can use it in our BizTalk environment. So next is the BizTalk server development environment. For development environment, we should have some software plus hardware configuration. In the hardware, so we should have a Windows server. If we talk about the 2020 or a 2010, so we have a number of versions now. Like latest is a 2020. If we talk about the 2020, so we should have a Windows server, we have a SQL server, we have a IaaS, we have a BizTalk server. So all this all this make a BizTalk development happen. For development purpose, I will tell you like how we can install software. The next one is the high level data flow of the BizTalk server. If we talk about the high level, so everything in a BizTalk comes in the format of a message. So messages go in a message box, and there is a architecture, publisher, subscriber, publisher. The messages are published by the subscriber, and there can be any subscriber who can publish the messages. So data flow, like we will receive the message, we will parse the message, we will authenticate the message, we can transform the message, we can transmit the message. So this is the life cycle of the messages in a BizTalk server. If we talk about the BizTalk server architect, the BizTalk server is a comprise of many artifacts like port, pipeline, adapter, orchestrations. So all this component make a BizTalk server architect. Like if you are going to build one application, so you should have a like if you want to talk to CRM to the Java, then you have to tell okay what is the file format of the AX that he will send to the Java applications. So we have a receive location where this file will land. We will pick this file. In the receive pipeline, we have a number of pipelines. So we have a EDI pipeline, we have a pass-through pipeline. So everything come in the pipeline first. After that, we will take it into the adapter. And the adapter we have then we have a orchestration. If we don't go with the orchestration, so we can use some message routing, solutions. In the message routing, we have a promote the properties and all. This all come in the architecture. So while designing an application, you should take care of like aspect like a pipeline, message format, endpoints. So that will all come from the BizTalk Server architect. Creating schema. In the creating schema, so as I have told you, like we have to identify the message format which is sent by the applications, the source applications. So if it is an XML schema, so we have to create a if it is an XML message, then we have to create a XML schema. So BizTalk provide artifact like schemas. So with the use of this artifact, you can generate the schema. If it is XML, so you can generate XML schema. If it is a CSV file, so you can generate a flat file schema that help you to format the messages. Now the schema properties and generating schema. So we have a number of 4 or 5 type of schemas, like envelope schema, canonical schema. We have a so all these schema are for different purposes, creating XML and the flat file schema. So XML is also a data defining messages. So we have to define a message. So we have to create a schema. So as BizTalk Server providers, provide a artifact schema. So with this help of this artifact, we can create the XML and generate the flat file schema as well. Flat file schema creator using the flat file wizard. We can create the schema by the wizard also. In the wizard, you have to import the CSV file. CSV file will go in the wizard, and then he will there is some design come up. So you have to just select, okay, what are the columns, what are the name of the root node elements. So all come through the flat file wizard. Next one is the EDI schema. EDI schema, as I have told you, like EDI schema is a schema which is a document schema. Whenever a B2B connections, for the B2B connection, we should have a EDI format. So EDI can be from supply chain and change management. EDI can be from healthcare management. So like X12. So most of the time we use the X12, which is a predefined format, and it's a universal universal messages which are already there in all the applications. So no one is manually interfere. So whenever there is a EDI message, so it will pass automatically by the EDI pipelines. Creating envelope schema. Yeah, envelope schema are used when we want to wrap up all the small messages into a one big message. That time we use the envelope schema. So then there is a map schema creating a generation. Okay, so I will show you like how to create a schema and how to generate a schema. In the third, okay, creating maps. So maps are used for the transformations. So we transform from one source file to the one destination file. Like we have a one XML file and output should be a CSV file. Then we will use the mapping. In the mapping, we have to define, okay, what is the source schema and what is the destination schema, and what the desired output we want. If we want to have a CSV file, then we have to create a CSV schema from the schema wizard. So this is the creating map from the schema. Configure basic functional. Yeah. So in the BizTalk map, we can create some function through the inline functions. Inline functions means you can write your C# code in the XSLT. So all the map comes with the XSLT. So you can generate the you can create a C# messages in a directly in a XSLT, or you can have a one library class, and the library you can use in the XSLT by giving some references. Configure advanced functionality. We have some advanced functionality like a string, we have a boolean, we have a function, we have a tables. So these all function help you to provide like more easy transformation. Next one is manipulate data by using the function or an add function to a map. Yeah, and if we need to like modify some input message, like we are receiving a two elements like first name and the last name, but at the destination schema you want only the one field like name. So you have to concrete both the string into one. That time we can use the functionoid and manipulate the data what we are receiving at the source schema. Perform advanced mapping operation by using the advanced functionoid. And we can we have a advanced functionoid like X reference tables we have, which are provided by the BizTalk server. So we can use that X reference with the help of the advanced functional. Next is the lab. So in the lab I will tell you like what are the maps and how we can create it and how we can implement it. So this is the about creating map. Next is the BizTalk server training in the market. Okay, so nowadays BizTalk is more popular because all the industries having a distributed applications like a company can have a CRM, can have a ERP, can have a other application or console applications. So to make a so every application have a different protocols or a different messages type. So it's very difficult to to talk with any application directly. So there must be something in the middle of them. So that's why we have a BizTalk. BizTalk help us because BizTalk is able to receive any kind of format, like it's a CSV format, XML format, JSON format, whatever format it's at. So it will take the messages from one application, and whatever the other application want the message in whatever in the format, so BizTalk provide that format. Like if AX is sending a message in the XML format, but CRM don't want XML, he want CSV file. So BizTalk can help to transform the XML file into a CSV file. That kind of things happen in the BizTalk. And we can have a BizTalk for the B2B purpose also, where we have a predefined schemas like EDI. So we can use it. It will also apply to a contact detailing in the ERP, CRM, and marketing system. After this course, we will be able to clarify the certificate. It's a 7595. So after completing this course, we all will be able to clear the certificate. Okay, about MindMajix course completion certificate. Okay, this should be a certificate after completion where you have the name here. So we have some other component, other artifact like pipeline. So pipeline can be used at receive level when we receive the message, or pipeline can be used at the send port where we send the messages out from the BizTalk. So these are the pipeline we used, and the pipeline are also used to modify the messages, whatever the messages we received. So with the help of the pipeline, we can manipulate the messages also. So we can use it for the B2B like EDI. We have a EDI pipelines. The next one is the integrated business rule. Yeah, and we can apply some business rules also. So BizTalk provide a BizTalk rule composer where you can go there and you can use the SSO also. So the business rule, policies, artifact, fact. So you can use all. Like if you implement a logic in a business rule, so you can use the business rule composer where you have to create a policy first, and in the policy you have to define your rules. For example, if you want to set a rule like if we have a application applicant with more than 18-year-old, so that time this message will be processed by the system, otherwise it should skip it. So that business rule we can apply in the business rule composer. BizTalk orchestration. BizTalk orchestration is the workflow of the data, like how the data will flow. So it should be mentioned in the. So it's a graphical view. So there are number of shapes, so connectors. So you can use that shapes and make a workflow. Adapters. Adapters are used to make a communication. It's like we have a adapter, like file adapter. If we want to receive a file, then we will use a file adapter. We have a FTP adapter, we have a SQL adapter, we have a WCA adapter, we have a message queue adapter, we have a MSMQ adapter, we have a POP3 adapter. So BizTalk provide a list of adapter that we can use for integrate applications. BizTalk Server Training project and demonstration. Project name is OSR price binding. So actually this project we are receiving a big file, huge file, like more than 100, not 100, it's a 20 GB file. So it's a very really big file. So that time we have to, like we have to chunk a file into a number of pieces. So after that, each piece will be processed individually. So that time we can use the pipeline. The pipeline help us to break a message into a number of chunk, and every chunk is processed independently. If any chunk is went wrong, so nothing will happen, means it will not problem for the applications. The application will run as it is, so there will be no problem with the applications. And we can track each and every messages in the admin console also. In this project we just take a huge file and try to break it into a number of chunks and process each chunk individually and separately. Next project is the Apollo. Apollo is used to, like we have a client which sending us some sensitive information of the customer, and we want to like payment information, salary information. So this information we are receiving from the client, but he want to make a encryption decryption on the messages. So BizTalk also help you to make secure secure your messages with the help of encryption or decryption technique. So you can have a certificate also. So using the certification you can make your messages encrypt or decrypt. So in the Apollo application we all done this in the making a message encrypt or decrypt. Other is the AIM is employee repository, where we new employees are joined, some left the organization, some are on hold. So each information should be updated. For that we will create a applications that send one XML file to the BizTalk, where some information like modified, a new hold. So all the data we receive in the one XML file, but we have to separate all the messages depend on the type, like it's a new or it's a modified or it's a delete. So on the basis of that type, we have to fetch the data from the application and process them and update the system also. And whatever the information we received, we have to update the other system also. So we in the response we will generate a XML file. In the XML file we will update each and every record with some flags, and this file is need to be sent it to the third party applications with the help of the web services. So all this was done in the AIM project. BizTalk Server Training Lab setup. Okay. So first we have to create an environment for development. So for development, we need some hardware and plus software requirement. So here we have some like what version of BizTalk we require. So here we have a 64-bit server, a BizTalk server that will be installed on a Microsoft OS. So we can have a latest Microsoft OS where we can install the BizTalk Server 2020. it should be a 64-bit. Memory, so we should have at least 2 GB memory. Hard disk should be more than 10 GB. And for the software, we have to we have to download the BizTalk server from the Microsoft side. We have to download the SQL server also to make a development environment. We will create a development environment with this all requirements, software plus the hardware, and BizTalk Server Training additional course resources. Yeah, and we have some blogs which is written by the some big companies like BizTalk 360. So BizTalk 360 is much more involved in the BizTalk technology. BizTalk 360 have developed their own product also with the name BizTalk 360, where it will provide all the like uh, web-based support. In the support, if anything goes wrong with the BizTalk environment, then we should have alert from the BizTalk 365. If there is any port goes down, then it will there is a feature of auto healing. So with the help of auto healing, the adapters are auto resumed. If any message goes down, or if there is any problem in processing the messages, then we can resume it through the BizTalk 360. So there are some other blogs also, like Microsoft also have some white pages is, so we can use that to understand how the BizTalk works. Then we have a interview question. Okay, so all the questions are expected to be asked by the examiner, interviewer. So we will cover all the important questions that can be asked, like define BizTalk. So you have to tell like why we use the BizTalk, what is the purpose of the flat file schema. So we have to tell like what are the schemas. So it means all the artifact have the questions like schemas, mapping, functions, routing, services, orchestrations, component, composition block, try catch block, how you will handle the error in the orchestrations. So all this can be asked by the interviewer, like what are the functions of the BizTalk, what is the trading partner management. So trading partner management is nothing but a for the B2B integrations. So we have to set some configuration for the trading partner management. So BizTalk already provided a console where you can set up a partner, trading partners like ISAID, GSAID, what is the transaction type, what is the root node, what is the message type. So all comes in the trading partner management. After that, we have a defined content-based routing. Means how you can use your message to be route. So we have a number of approaches there: content-based routing, message-based routing. So this all cover in the routing part. Explain the difference between BizTalk server and web services. BizTalk server is a product, and web services is just a technology. Like how you will, and there is no like monitoring or support, auto resume. These feature are missing in the web services. But in BizTalk server, you will have all the fact artifact that help you to not only connect with the one endpoints, so you can connect to the any endpoint with the any number of file format. So there are number of difference between BizTalk server and the web services. What are the maps? Maps are used for the transformation. So we can use the map where we need to transform one value in another value. So we will use the map. How are messages created in the orchestration? So messages are orchestrations we use to for implementing the business logic. So while implementing the business logic, we can create a message like temporary message, or we can have a copy of one message. So that time we can create it. So there is a shapes like message assignment, message expression. So use that shapes, we can create the messages. Which scope compensation block can be added? Yeah, compensation blocks means where we have to compensate something. So this block comes in the try catch. So we have some scope like atomic scope or long running scope. So that time there are compensation block also. So we have to implement our logic in the compensation block, where if something in the final stage there is nothing to do, so we have to compensate, then there we can put the compensate logic there. Can we prevent orchestration from entering a suspended state? Yes, we can avoid it. So orchestration to be suspended. So we need to make a retry pattern. Using the retry pattern, we can avoid orchestration to be suspended. So there are other techniques also where we can avoid it. Like we have a different approaches where we can think on, like, and it all depend on the situations. Like if it is not in our control, like if it is a web services kind of things where, and it's endpoint which is connected to the long running state, then it will be difficult to stop it, to prevent it from the suspended. So it will be suspended in a way like where the message format is not good, or the ftp is down for a like more than a retry pattern. Like we have set for the 5 retry pattern, but it's reach at the 6, so it will go in a suspended. So that time we cannot prevent it. Any doubt regarding the subject, course, timing, resource allocation can be discussed with MindMajix. Feel free copy to drop any query at info at the mindmagix.com. Thank you. Thank you very much.